My full name is Dolores Falanga.
Well, I'm Sal J. Falanga, Salvatore J. Falanga.
I have but one heart. This heart I bring you. I have but one heart to share with you. I have but one dream that I can cling to. You are the one dream I pray comes true.
My parents lived on 72nd Street in New York City. There was a movie theater across the way, and Dolores Del Rio was in a film, and that's how I was named. I was named after the actress. I was born June 23rd, 1927. I was born in New York City. And strangely enough, I was delivered by a midwife who put the wrong date down on the birth certificate.
I was born on 4/10/28 in New York City. I was born in the area known as Hell's Kitchen. It was a fully Irish neighborhood. I've never really established why it was known as Hell's Kitchen, except that I know there was one mob there that handled robbery and that sort of thing, hijacking.
When I was a child, I lived 1293 First Avenue in New York City. It's in Manhattan. My school was about a block away. We'd walk to school, and we'd come home for lunch because we didn't have any cafeterias at that time. We lived on the second floor in a railroad flat.
Had a very restricted youth. In those days, of course, you didn't let a kid go down in the street and run around as he did. So I was very close to my parents.
In 6th grade, we made our cooking aprons by hand because when we went to the next school for grades 7 and 8, we had cooking class.
As I went to school and learned to read, I became a very good reader. I read quite a bit. Did my homework, and listened to the radio.
In high school, I majored in Latin. I took Latin for 3 years, and I'm not sure if Latin is even featured in any of the schools today.
I went to a lot of New York Giant games, yeah. In fact, my biggest season for the game was in 1945. It was the last year of the war. And as it turned out, it was my worst year as a Giant fan. We came in last place. And despite that, I chose the opportunity to go in and see 25 games, see them play 25 games, mostly losses.
But I graduated from Julia Richmond High School, an all-girls school. And they had a pool in this school, which was a delight. And actually swimming was one of our classes, too.
He was a tremendous worker. My father was devoted to his business and his occupation, serving his customers, and moreover, seeing that everything went well for the family. He brought me to some ball games. He got me started in the game. And while he didn't have the, you might say, the gift of gab that my mother did, his devotion to me and my sister and his wife was very clear.
My first job was after school, and it was listed on the board in high school and it worked. It was for Hattie Carnegie perfume. And it was just a couple of hours after school and all day Saturday. And what we did was put labels on the perfume bottles that said Hattie Carnegie and wrap the neck of the perfume bottle with a gold cord. So that was my job. That was sponsored by a high school.
Well, I know I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do something to make my parents proud of whatever I put my mind into. For a while, as I was going through high school, I thought I wanted to be an engineer. Then that dimmed after a while, despite the fact that I went to an engineering high school. And so I wound up in college as a political science major.
I met Sal at a dance in Queens at Sunnyside Gardens.
We used to go to dances once in a while, and we went to a place called Sunnyside Gardens in Queens where we lived. And we had a couple of dances with this girl, and she seemed to be receptive to my nonsense, whatever it was, and I decided to ask for a date.
Oh, very handsome, shirt, tie, jacket, very well dressed, very mannerly, and he danced. He could dance.
We were both very much alike, that we were both fairly quiet people. We seemed to like the same things, which I think is a key interest in what brings people together. If one dominates the other in terms of interest, and one does one thing, the other one doesn't want to do that thing, but wants to do only another thing, it won't work out.
Sal was always well dressed. He wore a suit, shirt and tie. He smoked a pipe at that time, too.
In those years, one dare not go out on something formal, either to school or to something formal, without a necktie and white shirt.
But he was a good dancer, so we danced several times that night. Then he asked my phone number, and the next call was for a date. And our first date was to Madison Square Garden in New York City to a hockey game.
I have but one heart. This heart I bring you.
Stay like that.
I have but one heart to share with you. I have but one dream that I can cling to. You are the one